Welcome to Made in Alpharetta, the only show dedicated to showcasing what makes Alpharetta so awesome. I'm your host, Carson Cook, and today's episode is brought to you by the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau. Today we have in the studio Zaina Wuest with Exquisite Living. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about Exquisite Living. How did it get started?
Well, it started the retail portion of it started about 3.5 years ago. I've been into interior design for a long time, and always thought that I would have a place where I could bring my clients, and enjoyed the shopping part of it a lot. So wanted somewhere where I could source the product from, but really didn't do anything with it for a while because I did have a corporate job, which I called my day job. But about 3.5 years ago, my daughter had a life-threatening car accident, which kind of took her throughout during her recovery, with all the heavy medication and what have you. She went into a sort of dark depression, if you would. And so we wanted to do something for her. She dropped out of school. She tried to go back and just couldn't get back up from it. So we thought about opening a small business for her. And we looked at several different things, but she said, when we spoke to her, she said she wanted to do something where I could be with her as well and use my talents to get her started. So it was natural to do something around the interior design. So we opened up a store in Milton 2.5 years ago, small, 3,500 square feet, and the design business really just took off immediately, and we grew very quickly, and then we expanded the space, and that then turned into 8,200, and then after that, we decided that, I was going to leave my corporate job and just go into it full time to support her more. And then it became my day job. And so all that was good. But so that's really how the business was born.
So it sounds like your love for interior design, you've had a long time.
Yes. Ever since I could remember, my father back home in London was in the restaurant business, and he had several concepts all around the country. And so we would move a lot, and so which means a lot of new homes every few years, couple of years. And I just remember being a little girl helping my mom sewing pillows and draperies, and just really and looking back at it now, I'm almost surprising to me how much mum and dad, even at 8 years old, they appreciated my opinion in interior design. So I guess it was just always there, and that's why I probably didn't see it as a job, because I thought it's just something I enjoy doing. So that's probably why I didn't do it as a career, in the earlier part of my life. Right. Yeah.
Is there a designer or a place or like anything that you think influences your style?
I love traveling. I've traveled a lot, and I think for me, I've taken inspiration from different places. Whenever I travel somewhere, I try to pick up what's in the area, how people live in, what's around, what's the trend, what's the food, the taste, the personalities, the vibe. And my inspiration really comes from that. Even today, when I'm designing homes, when we go into a home, the exquisite living thing is to really understand that client's lifestyle, who they are, how can we bring their personality out. So I would say inspiration came from traveling, and still today, where the area is, how this area and the location speaks to you.
So it's very tailored to the client and to the place.
Absolutely.
So as you mentioned, your first location was in Milton, but you fairly recently opened a new location in Alpharetta.
Yes.
Talk about that. How did you decide to expand?
Yes. And so I think the idea started more not so much from expanding, but we wanted to be in an area where there was more happening, if you would. So something new, something hip. Our design have somewhat European background, sort of twist to it, just, naturally because of where I'm from. And so we were looking for an area where we can really sort of showcase that, if you would. A more retail-oriented area, something quaint, somewhere where there's not a whole lot of chain stores. We looked at many places we looked at. My goal was to find something in a sort of work, live, have fun kind of setup anyway. So we looked at Halcyon, that's coming up soon, and a few other areas in and around. And when the city centre folks approached us and told us about the master plan and then the shops that were going in there, it just really appealed. It just looked like it was match made in heaven. When I thought about the business concept and our foundation and what Exquisite Living is all about, and the type of stores that are coming into the centre and the ultimate sort of plan, it just looked like it was a good fit.
Yeah, it sounds, when you were describing what you were looking for, it sounds just like downtown Alpharetta. It's quaint, it's local, it's very community oriented.
Correct.
So you've been happy with the fit there so far?
Yes, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's a great location for us. The feedback has been overwhelming, just in a good way. So, the people from all over. It's funny because when we went there, we really thought, hey, it's going to be a real local, which is a very local place, and most of our clients are. But when we start speaking to some of these clients, they're coming from all over Georgia, really. Towns that I've never heard of before. I'm like, is this still in Georgia? We've also have a lot of clients from Florida buying for their second home. We've already shipped up north. So it's just really become a hub for, families visiting their families in Alpharetta as well. So we're getting to touch people outside of Alpharetta. So for us, it's just been a lot of fun and great success, obviously.
I know when we spoke earlier, you say that the shop, it's not just retail oriented. It's almost like just a community hangout place.
Absolutely. And that's always been our goal. We never really truly want to be that retail store where somebody came in, bought something and never didn't think about us again. We want to leave, our customers walk out and think that was just such a good experience. This didn't feel like a, retail experience. So, the way we've set even the store up, the way we're flowing the traffic within a store, the way we train our staff, the kind of conversations we have, the processes we have as, for the design work, it really is, it's all about getting that person that's walked into the store feel comfortable and feel like they have walked into a friend's place and somewhere local, somewhere quaint, and just feels happy about sharing their story with us, which we can then convert into a design for them.
How does it feel for you to have something that, just a few years ago was a hobby or a side gig, and now it's a thriving business with 2 locations? Yeah. How does that feel for you?
I've just excited, just extremely happy. And again, it's when it's your passion, and when you see your passion when you can do a job on a daily basis that's truly coming from the heart, and you enjoy doing and transforming homes and making things look beautiful, you can't really complain about that. But I'm just so excited for the future as well, and the growth is happening naturally, and I'm just focused on supporting that.
Awesome. What do you think it is about your approach that sets you apart?
I think I've mentioned that already, as far as when you're looking to, a core of our business is interior design, so I'll speak purely from there. Somebody walks into the store and they want a home designed. They come in and they're expecting, a bunch of salespeople to go up to them and start to sell things to them, just trying to get inventory out. But when they walk into Exquisite Living, very quickly that perception changes. They see that that's not what we're all about, that we are truly interested in, understanding their needs and trying to meet that need without, any urge to push inventory out. And, so that's one part of it. And the other part of it is, the trained staff that we have, the quality of design work that we provide, and of course our product. Every single item in that shop is handpicked by myself, and I have helpers, but We shop 4 times a year, and we really source literally, some of the world leaders, suppliers and manufacturers, and pick out sort of quality product. And we also try to keep our pricing at a very reasonable level.
All right, we're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor. Planning a wedding, reunion, or corporate meeting in Alpharetta? The Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau offers a variety of complimentary event planning resources to help you during your event or meeting planning process. Their expert team will help you find event venues and meeting space around the area, secure group hotel room nights at Alpharetta's 25 hotels, and provide you with free visitor information to share with your Alpharetta hotel guest. Visit awesomealpharetta.com to learn more. And we're back. So before the break, you talked a little bit about how you go shopping for new inventory 4 times a year, right?
About 4 times a year.
What sort of things do you look for when you're picking up pieces?
So our business is upholstery is a big part of our business, and then we've got case goods. Upholstery is customizable sofas, chairs, beds, what have you. We've been very serious and diligent about making sure that our upholstery is made here in the US. That everything, including the core of a sofa, the nail heads to the legs to the finish, is all made in the US. So we're very proud of that. Our turnaround time is 4 to 6 weeks, so we have a really good relationship with a couple of factories here in the U.S. These guys have been making custom upholstery for over 200 years. They're well renowned, and so that's one part of it. The case goods, really all of it, we source it from all over the world. But to go back to your question as to what do I look for, really is quality is the number one, and hence the reason why we like to hand pick rather than order online or whatever other ways people typically do. But that's really the main, most important part for us.
And how do you think for the client, when they're sitting in that sofa, how do you think that dedication to quality and to American made, how do you think that feels for them?
I think our clients know straight away that there's something different about the sofa they just sat on. The form, the comfort, the feel, everything. You just know quality when you touch it, feel it, and sit on it. There's just something to be said about that type of product being made here in the US versus abroad. And we also let our clients know that because they also understand it. If they're coming into a high-end store to buy a sofa, they expect that kind of quality. And they would know if they sat on one and everything started sinking. So
I think a lot of times people feel with interior design that they have to make a choice between style and elegance and comfort and something that's livable. But I think your approach, and especially that commitment to picking it out by hand and feeling it for yourself, you don't want to make your clients compromise between those two things.
We actually have a thing that we say in the US, in our stores, that we don't allow our customers to settle, because you can get all of that. You can get quality, elegance, beauty, all of that. It just has to be the right piece. And again, that goes back to the reason why we handpick, because when we're shopping, these manufacturers are selling to us for us to resell to our clients. And so, I'm going to sit on a piece, and if I have to make sure first that I've looked at it because it looks good, it's elegant, it's stylish, then I'm going to sit on it to see that it's comfortable, and then I'm going to touch it, look around it to see it's good quality, and then find out about it to see where it was made, how it was made. So I shop like that, and therefore, we handpick the best, and it's really the resale process is pretty much the same.
But it takes a burden off the customers to know that you've already done that research. Absolutely. And when that trust is there.
Absolutely. And that's, goes back to your question earlier on. Our customers see that through our product and our services, and that trust we start building that trust immediately.
shift gears a little, you mentioned earlier that you're from London, correct?
Yes.
And grew up and developed your love for interior design while you were living in the UK. Do you think that influences your style or your approach?
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, having been raised over there, my design approach is more, the European, modern, clean line. That's my personal taste. That doesn't mean that Exquisite Living wouldn't, do a farmhouse design here. And we've done many of those, but for obvious reasons, we're in Georgia. But, I did, there was a little bit of learning for me as well from the time we opened our first location to now. There was some adjustments I had to make because naturally I wanted to go into these homes where I just wanted to put some, white sofas and clean lines and modern and contemporary, or sometimes even that Scandinavian mid-century, which is what we love back in Europe.
Yeah.
But and then the client would say, I want farmhouse. I want a sign on my bookshelf that says egg, or a boathouse, or I want a basket with blankets by the, And design is not about. It's about understanding, again, go back to understanding what your client's desire is, but also, if you can get a few things right in your design when you're designing, whether scale, getting the right colors and the balance and the textures, no matter what the style is, it will turn out nice.
Right.
And so, but for me, there was that transition or adjustment, if you would, to sort of understanding what the local style is, if you would. Yes.
So those fundamentals, though, of scale, of texture, of color, those are the same regardless of what style you're working
regardless, yes.
But I imagine for some clients, your different perspective could be a benefit, that you maybe turn them on to something that they hadn't been thinking of before. And
actually, it's a very, very good point that you picked up on. We get that comment a lot. We'll go in and someone will come in and say, I love the rustic style. And then, one of us will go out and they'll put their little European twist in there, and they'll, clients response be, oh my goodness, I would have never thought of adding something like that. It just changes everything. Now my house is unique and it looks different from my friend. It doesn't look the same as everybody in the neighborhood. And no matter what the client style is, we always try to put that little touch there, or a surprise, if you would, if you would, to make it different, because doing every home unique to that homeowner is very important to us. But yes, that's they really enjoy that touch that they wouldn't usually get or expect here in Alpharetta or Milton or in Atlanta.
And because you have different designers that are employed by you, do they all bring their own style to the table? Do you have of a training that gives them an exquisite living style?
Absolutely, yes. So everybody will come with their background. So currently, my top two designers, one comes from a very contemporary background, worked for a store in Buckhead, and then the other designer has a very farmhouse background. But when they come on board, they do go through the Exquisite Living protocol, if you would, of designing, and that is all the things that I've mentioned to you about how we walk into a home, allow the home to talk to us, and the homeowner can develop their design and then throw in that Exquisite Living / European twist to it. Yes, absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, the home is a very personal thing. You want it to be somewhere you feel at home, and you kind of want it to be somewhere that is reflective of you.
Absolutely, and that is absolutely on the spot. And that's what we say to our clients. Like, we're here to guide you and give you, help you build this beautiful home. But we are going to listen to you to see what you gravitate towards, what shape, size, style, texture feels good to you, because it's your home. You're going to be waking up to it every day. It's supposed to make you happy and reflect you. So absolutely, that's actually in the, it's almost like one of our core beliefs at Exquisite Living.
Do you have anything coming up that you want to let listeners know about?
We always, especially at City Centre, we always have something going on almost every night between the concerts and farmers market. And
Right.
so it's always a fun night here at City Centre, which kind of making our employees at Milton feel a little left out. So we are about to come up with a very big sale. I don't know if they'll be happy that I'm announcing it already. But as I mentioned earlier on, we shop 4 times a year, and our spring trucks are about to. We basically need to make more room for our and new styles that are coming in. So we once a year we do a big sale, and Milton is about to have that in the next few days. So lots of good discounts coming up. Yes,
Exciting. And is there a place somewhere listeners can go to find out more or to follow you?
Mm-hmm. I think that we have a really good website, but I think the best place where the staff is always announcing stuff is Facebook and Instagram, because that's the thing. I'm still so old fashioned. I'm like, go to the website, but they like to be more vocal on social media. So that's probably going to be the best.
And it's under Exquisite Living?
It is, yes.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, Zaina, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you, listeners and viewers, for joining us today on Made in Alpharetta. Be sure to rate and review the podcast because it helps other people find us. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications on new episodes, and follow us on Twitter at Alpharetta Made. See you around town.